Hi everybody, let's pick up where we left off and talk about multi-view drawings. So let's talk about multi-view drawings specifically. They are the individual views or panes of glass of that three-dimensional glass box, and they're arranged on a sheet in orthographic projection. So we usually show three views for a full picture of our three-dimensional object, and it's standard to show a front, a side, and a top view. Okay, so here are a couple of examples um, of a multi-view drawing showing three different views. There is a big advantage in laying out the drawing this way, all right? And there's a big advantage in orthographic drawings in general, and that is the relationship between the different views. All right. Your views are the same scale, and if you align them on the page like we're showing, elements from one view are easily transferred to another view, and you can very easily see the relationships between these different elements on your object. So let's take a look at this example. We have a front view, a side view, and a top view of a particular object. All right. Now looking at these three views, visualize in your mind what this object looked like. Okay. It kind of looks like a set of steps. All right. And by laying them out in this particular alignment, you can transfer the measurements, or you can see the relationships between these different views. For example, this point on the top view is going to correspond to this point on the, which view is that? The front view, which then corresponds to this point on the side view. Now it's pretty easy to understand the relationship between this front view and this side view, right? Directly horizontal. It's pretty easy to understand the front view and the top view. It's directly vertical. But what about this top view and side view? It turns out that if you draw a 45-degree horizontal, 45-degree diagonal line, you can also transfer those measurements and or compare those relationships. So this point right here is that point right there on that drawing. All right, you're going to get lots of practice on this particular idea in your weekly exercise. All right, so that was pretty abstract with the kind of stair-stepped object that we were looking at. So let's get one more example here of a multi-view drawing of, surprise, surprise, a chair. All right, in this case, we've got a front view of the chair. We've got a right side view of the chair and a top view of the chair. Again, it's fairly easy to transfer some measurements and or understand the relationship between these drawings. For example, the front view sits on the ground right here, and the right side also sits on the ground right there. Okay, the seat height is here, and that transfers right to the seat height here. The top of the chair, the back of the chair, that height is the same as that height here. All right, if we look at the front and the top views, you can see that, for example, the width of the back of the chair translates to this point right here, and the width to here. Right? Some middle measurements kind of show up also. Here's this piece, and goes right here. Remember that the top and the side also have a relationship, and we can use a 45-degree diagonal line to help us find those relationships. Here is the back of the chair, and it's right there. Here's the front of the chair, and it's going to be that measurement right there. One last thing about these multi-view drawings, we've just been talking about the object lines, the solid lines, as if you directly viewed that object, but it turns out that we can also view the object kind of all the way through as if it were transparent. And we would use hidden lines to show elements that you can't see in a particular view. And here's an example. So here's a mechanical part, right, in a solid view. Here is it kind of a transparent view, as if it were made of smoky glass. All right. If we look at the front view of this object, in the transparent view, it looks like this. Right? You can see this screw hole, basically, this countersunk screw hole, which is right here, even though if the object were solid and you were viewing a front view, you wouldn't see that. And so the orthographic view, the drawing of this front view, would show these hidden elements right here using hidden lines. All right, in this video, we covered different types of drawing systems. We covered how to imagine a multi-view projection and then how to kind of transfer those multi-view projections into a drawing sheet and create a multi-view drawing. Thanks, everyone.